What if one of the simplest foods in your kitchen could support the blood vessels that feed your brain? Not some expensive supplement, not a mystery powder, not a miracle capsule. Just a humble bowl of corn porridge, plus one green vegetable that many people ignore. Some old school doctors and nutrition-minded people believed that simple, fiber-rich foods were often better for the body than trendy health hacks. And when it comes to supporting healthy circulation, steady energy, and metabolic balance, they may have had a point. In today's video, we'll talk about a surprisingly simple combination that may help support the health of your blood vessels and your brain over time. We'll cover why corn porridge can be useful, why broccoli deserves much more attention, and at the end, I'll show you an easy recipe you can make at home. And there is one mistake many people make with porridge that turns it from helpful into almost useless. So stay with me because that part matters before we begin. This is not a cure, not medical treatment, and not a way to scrape out blood vessels. But certain foods can absolutely support vascular health, cholesterol balance, blood sugar stability, and overall circulation when eaten regularly as part of a healthy lifestyle. Let's start with the real issue. Most people don't think about their blood vessels until they start feeling something is off. Maybe they notice brain fog. Maybe they feel tired too early in the day. Maybe they get heavy-headed, sluggish, or feel like their concentration is not what it used to be. And while many things can cause those symptoms, one major factor people often ignore is the condition of the blood vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, including to the brain. Your brain is incredibly demanding. It needs a steady supply of blood, oxygen, and nutrients every single moment. And that's why the foods you eat regularly matter more than people think. Before we get to the first food, 99% of viewers are watching without subscribing. So please subscribe and like the video. Our goal is 100,000 by the end of this month. Now let's talk about the first food, corn porridge. This may sound too simple to be effective, but simple foods are often the most underrated. Properly prepared corn porridge can be a good source of slow-releasing carbohydrates, some fiber, and plant compounds that fit well into a heart-supportive eating pattern. When made without loads of sugar, cream, or processed toppings, corn porridge can help in three important ways. First, it can support steadier energy. That matters because repeated spikes and crashes from ultra-processed foods can work against metabolic health over time. Second, it can contribute fiber depending on how it's prepared. Fiber helps support cholesterol balance and digestive health, and that matters for the vascular system too. Third, it is filling without being overly heavy, especially when paired with vegetables. That makes it easier to eat less junk later in the day. And here is where many people get misled. They hear phrases like cleaning the vessels, and imagine that one spoon of something magically washes everything away. That is not how the body works. Your body is not a dirty pipe. Your arteries are not something you rinse out overnight. Real support happens through repeated habits, better blood sugar control, better fiber intake, better inflammation balance, better body weight, better blood pressure support. That is where food helps. So why do some people speak so highly of old-fashioned corn porridge? Because it is a plain, affordable, easy to digest for many people. And when eaten the right way, it replaces foods that are far worse. Now let's get to the second food that makes this combination much stronger. Broccoli. If corn porridge is the simple base, broccoli is the protective upgrade. Broccoli contains fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, potassium, and plant compounds that are often studied for their role in supporting the body's natural defense systems. It also fits beautifully into diets aimed at heart and vascular support. And here is why broccoli is especially interesting in this topic. It helps you build a meal that is not just soft and comforting, but actually balanced. A lot of people eat porridge in a way that turns it into a pure starch bomb. They add sugar, sweet condensed milk, jam, white bread on the side, and then wonder why they still feel tired or hungry soon after. But when you pair a moderate portion of corn porridge with broccoli, you increase the fiber, the volume, the micronutrients, and the sense of fullness. That changes the entire effect of the meal. Instead of a fast rise and fall, you get something steadier. Instead of empty comfort food, you get a supportive meal. Instead of a health myth, you get a realistic habit. Now let me share the mistake I mentioned earlier. The mistake is making corn porridge too refined, too sweet, and too overloaded with butter. A small amount of healthy fat is fine. But when people turn it into a dessert or drown it in fat, they completely change the purpose of the meal. If you want this meal to support circulation and vascular health, keep it simple. No large amounts of sugar, no sweet syrups, no processed meat on the side, no huge portion late at night. The point is not to make it hyper tasty for one day. The point is to make it useful often enough to matter. So what is the best way to use this meal? Think of it as a supportive breakfast or light dinner once or twice a week, or even more often if it fits into your overall diet. And now let's talk about the 1 spoon a month idea. Some people say 1 spoon is enough for maintenance, but that is more of a dramatic phrase than a scientific truth. No single spoon of any food will maintain perfectly clean vessels, but 1 spoon can represent a principle, small, consistent habits done over time. 1 spoon of a better choice is still better than 1 spoon of a worse one. 1 meal that supports your body is better than 1 meal that overloads it, and repeated better choices can absolutely add up. Now let's make the recipe. This recipe is simple, warm, light, and designed to support a more balanced meal pattern. Recipe: corn porridge with broccoli for vascular support ingredients. 3 tablespoons cornmeal or fine corn grits, 1.5 cups water. A small pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon extra virgin olive oil. Half a cup broccoli florets, finely chopped. Optional, a spoon of plain yogurt on the side. Optional, a little garlic or black pepper for flavor. How to make it. First, bring the water to a gentle boil and add a very small pinch of salt. Then, slowly pour in the cornmeal while stirring continuously. This helps prevent lumps and gives the porridge a smooth texture. Lower the heat and cook for about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on the grind of the cornmeal. Stir often so it stays creamy and doesn't stick. At the same time, steam the broccoli for about 4 to 5 minutes, just until tender but still bright green. Do not overcook it into mush. Overcooked broccoli loses texture and becomes much less appealing. Once the porridge is ready, add 1 teaspoon of olive oil and stir. Place the porridge in a bowl and top it with the steamed broccoli. If you want, add a spoon of plain yogurt on the side or a tiny bit of garlic and black pepper for extra flavor. That's it. Simple. Affordable. No miracle language needed. Now let's be honest about who should be careful. If you have diabetes, blood pressure issues, kidney disease, digestive disorders, or you take blood thinning medications, it is always smart to discuss major diet changes with a qualified medical professional. Also, if you have symptoms like severe headaches, weakness, numbness, speech problems, dizziness, or sudden confusion, food is not the place to experiment. That needs proper medical attention. But for everyday support, meals like this can be a smart addition to a healthier routine. And there's one more thing I want to say, because this is where many people fail. They keep searching for one magical product, one rare herb, one secret old doctor trick, one forbidden ingredient the world doesn't want you to know. But the truth is often less exciting and much more powerful. Real health support usually looks boring at first. Simple meals, more vegetables, less processed junk, more consistency, less drama. And that is exactly why most people overlook it. So no, corn porridge and broccoli are not magic, but they can be part of something better. A calmer blood sugar response, more fiber, better meal quality, and steady support for the body, including the vascular system that helps feed your brain. If you want, you can start with this. Replace one heavy processed breakfast this week with this warm corn porridge and broccoli bowl. Then pay attention. How do you feel after? Lighter? More stable? Less sleepy? Less craving for junk? Sometimes the body responds not to extremes, but to relief. If this video helped you see this topic in a more realistic way, write broccoli bowl in the comments. And if you want more simple food-based videos for circulation, energy, gut health, and healthy aging, subscribe and stay with us.